What is going on, my fellow comic book readers, collectors, and enthusiasts alike? I am your host, Alt, here at Control Alt Defeat Comics, and welcome back to my weekly comic book review show, the show where I go over and review every single comic that I picked up and read from the previous New Comic Book Day. This week, reviewing everything that I read from Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. This is a very large week this week, so I want to get right on into it. But before I do, I want to apologize in advance for this video being a little bit late. It is getting recorded a little bit late. So if I rush through a little bit more than usual, that is why. I'm just trying to get it out to you as quick as I can. So with that being said, let's go ahead and issue our normal spoiler warning right here. Spoilers ahead, so if you don't want to be spoiled for any comics that I picked up from Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. You can go ahead and check out, and you just want to see what I picked up, but you don't want to get spoiled, you can go ahead and check out my New Comic Book Day vlog, link down in the description below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into my pick of the week this week, which is Marvel, but I think this is 2 weeks in a row that Marvel's gotten the pick of the week, and it has gone to The Ultimates. This is issue number 21, Dennis Camp on writing with this book, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Dennis Camp's writing is just great. Every issue is so good. He's really just great at writing characters and really, empowering messages from characters. This issue in particular centers around Luke Cage, and there's actually a bunch of new characters that we get to be introduced to, I think, for the first time. Some of them we might have seen in other issues or other Ultimate series that I'm not caught up on. But there are a few introductions of characters that are just really good. There's also a quote in here by Luke Cage that I wish I had right here on me, but this issue was phenomenal. This story is great. I'm really sad that it's going to be wrapping up soon, although I really hope we get something else in this universe. I don't think it's really ending. But, that may be just my wishful thinking there. But that was an absolute 10 out of 10 issue this week. So good. So obviously Marvel is the first one we're going to go over this week, and we are next up going with the Infernal Hulk. This is issue number 4, excuse me. I keep trying to say the Incredible Hulk. But yes, the Infernal Hulk. This is issue number 4. This story is a lot of fun, and I really like this one. This is us getting to learn what's going on with the Hulk persona himself during all of the shenanigans right now, with his body being controlled by the Eldest, I think is the name of the creature. And this story is just a lot of fun, but I will have to say, this probably just gets points for how it ends. I've already issued you my spoiler warnings, so I don't really need to anymore, but the final panel of this says, next, Infernal Hulk versus the One Above All. That is enough to get me hype. For anybody who's a big Marvel buff, oh, that's so cool to me. I cannot wait to see the Hulk against the One Above All. That is such an interesting concept and fantastic. I loved it. That honestly is going to be another 10 out of 10 book for me this week, actually. Marvel's got a few. And Hulk is going to continue dominating here, because next up for Marvel is Hulk Smash Everything, issue number 3. And let me tell you, honestly, it is a hard choice between this and Infernal Hulk. Which one was my favorite? This has got easily some of the coolest Hulk feats. If you're somebody who likes to power scale and you like to power scale Hulk, this is a book you're gonna reference a lot now, because Hulk does some insane things. His fight with Galactus, that's not even it. that really is not even it. Like, the fact that man's, again, I've already given you my spoiler warning. This is my in-depth review. The fact that man literally smashed a black hole and destroyed a black hole from the inside, from the event horizon of the black hole, and absorbed all that power. You what, mate? Not only could this man survive the spaghettification process, not only could he survive being literally atomized, but you're telling me he was amazing, phenomenal, 10 out of 10 issue, 3 10 out of 10s in a row for Marvel here. Like I said, they are just rocking it this week. This was, for everybody who hated on Marvel last year, including myself, I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the things that Marvel did last year. They have been starting this year off on all cylinders. Next up for Marvel is Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral issue number 1. This is the new Marvel Spider-Man event kicking off right here. I originally wasn't going to read this, but I'm a huge Venom fan, and I've been reading the Venom story that's been ongoing for a while now, and it bled into this, so I decided to pick it up, and honestly, I'm glad I did. This was a really enjoyable issue. It's a nice start to a event. It is... I'm really curious to see where all it goes. I hope it's good. I think it's a total 9-issue event spread out over this and a few other miscellaneous things. So we'll see. The first issue was good. I'm excited. Love Carnage. Love Spider-Man. Love some of the interactions in this story. Honestly, even Mary Jane. I know a lot of people don't like Mary Jane being the Venom host right now, but I've been enjoying it a lot. I think Eddie Brock as Carnage is kind of fun as well. I thought the interactions between him and Dylan felt very, it's a good portrayal of him and Dylan's relationship, and, overall, the worst part about this is the fact that Paul is in this issue. I wish that Paul would not be in this story. But that's the consensus of pretty much every Spider-Man fan, I think, right? So, overall, though, loved this issue. Gotta give this one a 9 out of 10. Really good. Really, really good. Again, like I said, Marvel's just knocking it out of the park this week. Next up, we have got The End 2099. This was really fun, actually, to get to see the new Spider-Man 3099 interacting with the 2099 characters, but also getting to just see all these different, characters interacting and fighting it out is a lot of fun. I mean, it's ultimately kind of a throwaway little mini-series at the end of the day, right? It's probably not really going to matter for much, other than the introduction of the 3099 characters, which will probably then spiral into their own series or multiple series or one-shots or something, right? But overall, as a story, I thought this was pretty good. It was enjoyable. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because, this issue in particular is a lot of action. I mean, a lot of action, very much so, and the art on each page is done phenomenally well. But it just doesn't leave me a whole lot to actually, talk about, per se, because it ultimately is just a sick set of fights between a bunch of super cool characters. So, overall, gotta give this one an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyable, though. Enjoyable, fun read, great art. Next up for Marvel, we have got Wiccan Witch's Road. This is issue number 3. This one has started to pick up for me. I wasn't as big a fan starting the first 2 issues. I thought they were, okay. This one picked up for me quite a bit. I liked the interactions between these characters and stuff. It's a lot of fun. The story of the Demiurge and him, Wiccan trying to reobtain the Demiurge was really interesting. I liked turning. I liked that the fox ended up being Morgan Le Fay. I thought that was a really cool little turn that I wasn't expecting. I can't show you many panels of her because she's very naked in most of this comic for some reason, but the art was really well done. The story was incredibly well done, actually. Like, a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of character reflecting, and I really loved this. I thought this one was great. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10. This is really picking up steam for me, which is good. I was kind of, if this one continued to be the way the previous two had been, or if it had dropped any more, I was going to drop this series. So I'm glad to see that it's starting to pick up steam a little bit here. So, yep, that is that. And then the last book for Marvel this week is going to go to Black Panther Intergalactic. This was issue number 3. Overall, like, the art in this story is really cool, but I'm just not finding myself gravitated towards this story, and I find like some of these things that they've introduced this storyline where you've got a bunch of like clones of Black Panther mixed with like various villains or whatever. So like the last issue we had Dr. Octavius mixed with mixed with Black Panther. I'm not even bringing up how atrocious that character's name is. But then, like, we got Juggernaut, Black Panther. Like, right at the end of that, we do a lot more with that character in this issue. We see, like, a Green Goblin Black Panther. It's kind of weird. I'm not a huge fan of the weird Black Panther combined with villain thing that they've done with this. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that story starts to pick up a little bit. It's kind of in the same boat that Wiccan was in last week, where I'm not. If it doesn't pick up this next issue, then I'm probably going to drop it after this next issue. I'm going to give it one more to see if it picks up, but after that, if the next issue continues this direction, I'm gonna have to drop this one from my pull list. Overall, though, it was still an all right read. I mean, it's not like it was a slog. I didn't find myself, begging for it to be over or anything. It just wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5.5 out of 10. All right, so we are gonna move it on to. Next up, actually, is going to be Independent Comics. That's right, Independent actually topped out DC this week. And, of course, top of the stack for the week, Energon Universe, as always, Void Rivals, is phenomenal. It is peak Robert Kirkman on writing. And the art is phenomenal. The art is so good. We get more Sharkticons in this, which I've been saying it this entire arc. I love the Sharkticons. This issue, every issue of this has gripped me. This is part 3 of 6 of the Quintesson War, and every issue of this Quintesson War arc has gripped me even further than the last, and I gush over it every time the Void Rivals comes out, but this is the best thing in the Energon universe. It is phenomenal. I think this is the best thing that Robert Kirkman has ongoing right now. I think this might be one of the best things that Robert Kirkman has ever written. It is so good. I love it. And if it continues the direction it's going, which there's no sign of it slowing down. We know we're getting more and more Energon Universe over the course of 2026. I know we're getting Mask at some point, and that's exciting. So, overall, though, I got to give this one a 10 out of 10 as well. This was such a fun read. I absolutely loved it. Next, moving on to another Image comic book in our independent stack, we have got Escape. This is issue number 6. This is Rick Remender with Daniel Acuna on arts. And this story surprised me so much. I skipped this the first week it came out because I was like, whatever. Eh. And then everybody gushed about it, particularly Speedy Sultan, I think is his name on YouTube here. He gushed about it a lot, so I gave it a shot, and I think it was him that was gushing about it. Somebody was gushing about it on YouTube here, and I gave it a shot, and I'm so glad I have, because it is such a good story. This issue in particular is the end of this story arc, and we get Milton. We find out that he was a distraction, but he still has his main mission. They try to torture him for information, but he doesn't break. And we get to learn a little bit about the other side, the way they view Milton and his forces, the way they look at him as this just mass murderer, which, I mean, from the other side, that's what he would be. This, and it's a very interesting book, and I've loved this a lot. It has a lot of soul. Like, I know I've said that before in this video, but it really just feels so gritty, and I know it's an anthropomorphized animal book, so it's odd to call it just gritty and realistic, but it really is. It tells this war story in such a good way that I love it. I love it so much. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 10 out of 10 as well. It's really good. I know this week was really phenomenal in terms of stories. Next, for Independence, we've got another Image comic book here. We have got Skinbreaker. This is another Robert Kirkman book with art this time by David Finch. And David Finch's art is what gets this story. I mean, look at this. Just look at this art. It is beautiful. Beautiful. And there's treasury editions of this that I would love to get my hands on. I just don't want to spend that money on them, but I would love to see what this looks like in that treasury edition. I'm really hoping when this story finishes that we get like an oversized deluxe hardcover, something like what Rook Exodus got. I really hope they give that deluxe oversized hardcover for this, because this art is so beautiful, so breathtaking. Every color, every line, every bit of it is just amazing. I love it. I mean, story aside, and the story is great too. The story is really good. I'm really hooked on this story. But the art takes it to a new level, a breathtakingly new level, and it is just gorgeous. I love it. I love it so much. It's hard for me to find things to gripe about with this, honestly. My only complaint about it is that I know it's supposed to end at issue 9, and that makes me sad. Other than that, this story is phenomenal, and this issue I'm gonna give a 9.5 out of 10. It's so good. Honestly, probably deserving of a 10 out of 10, honestly. It's great. And again, if you haven't read it, pick it up, read it. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Next up for Independence, we've actually got something that's not an Image comic book this time around. We've got The New Space Age. This is a Mad Cave comic. This is written by Dave Porter, is it? Kenny Porter, excuse me. Kenny Porter with Mike Becker on arts. And this story is really fun. So this story has been about this guy who saw his brother get abducted by aliens as a kid and has devoted his entire life to trying to figure out how to get into space so that he could meet up with and find his brother. And in this issue, they finally get their ship up and running, and he basically blasts off during the test flight without the approval of the rest of his crew, and he ends up going to this alien world and essentially is told that humans aren't allowed there. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I'm curious where the rest of the story is going, because that was not what I expected. But we got more hints about his brother, so I'm really curious to see when we're finally going to see his brother again. But overall, I thought the story was a lot of fun. It's got a lot of intrigue. Each issue has gotten a little bit more and more interesting to me, honestly. And I'm going to give this one a solid 9 out of 10. Next up on the independent comic list here, we have got Supernatural. This is issue number 5. This is a Dynamite comic. And this one is a lot of fun, actually. This is Greg Pak on writing. And it's a lot of fun. I love Supernatural. Me and my significant other are currently watching through Supernatural. And so it has been, obviously I've seen the show before, but it has been a lot of fun to have this comic book to read while we are watching through. We're currently on season 1, near the end of it, so it's kind of close to where this takes place too, actually, in the canon, which is cool. This issue in particular sees them, let's see here. This issue in particular was just a lot of fun. It basically is them dealing with this character that is kind of taken them and been messing with them this entire issue, and she leads them into this court thing, and then they end up basically turning it around on her, and it's really good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was fun. Overall, though, it wasn't my favorite issue of the series, but it was still pretty fun. I would go ahead and give this one a 8 out of 10. Pretty good. Pretty fun. And then we've got, I think, 2 more for the independents here. We've got Final Boss, this one's Tyler Kirkham, isn't it? Yes, this is Tyler Kirkham on writing, with Tyler Kirkham and David Miller on art. And this story is a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed this issue. I think this is my favorite issue of this story so far. We learn some backstory stuff about this. Not backstory stuff. We get him going to this place where he's essentially trying to go to this tribe in a desert, and it's interesting. It ends with him encountering a witch that's definitely going to be his next big fight, or was his next big fight, excuse me. And that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Then the last one for independents this week, we have got Capes. This is issue 4. This was a lot of fun, actually. I enjoyed this. It's colorful. It's enjoyable. It's got a cute little story. I like, the Chronodile has a very interesting design. I mean, very much so, right? So, overall, I thought it was fun. I think, again, I just continue to be excited for the new content coming after issue 7 and on. But we end with the Chronodile here showing up, and that is going to be a lot of fun to see them take on. So, yeah, overall, gonna give this one a 7 out of 10. Now we are going to move on to DC, and my pick of the week for DC this week, of course, is going to go to Absolute Wonder Woman. You already knew it was going to be Absolute Wonder Woman. This issue was quite enjoyable, actually. There was a lot of action. Diana gets to take on a good amount of these, various characters. And the Giganta fight was really fun. That was definitely some peak action there as well. And overall, this issue was, again, just a lot of action. We get this really awesome kaiju fight that I really enjoyed. And that's the bulk of it. We get some interference from some of the other characters. And we end off with a interesting little character reveal here that I'm very excited about. I love this story. I love Absolute Wonder Woman. It is my favorite of the Absolute titles. Diana's just written so well in this, but so many of the characters are just so well done. I love it. Love the stories. Love the art. Love everything about it. This issue was a 10 out of 10 as well. Next up for DC, we have got another Absolute title. We've got Absolute Martian Manhunter. This is issue number 9. This is ending at issue 12, which makes me sad because this story has got some of the best art in all of comic books. I mean, it's just the colors. The way they do colors in this book, it is so trippy. It's so visually distinct and different from anything else on shelves right now. And I'm going to be really sad to see this go. I mean, just look at the way they do these colors throughout this. It's such an interesting little story. This is giving us a little bit more about the Martian that has taken over in John's head. We find out that John's wife has essentially set him up to go to a shrink, lying to him, telling him that he is going to a marriage counseling to try and save their marriage, or family counseling to try and, repair things. But then in reality, she's basically checking him into the cuckoo hut. And of course, John very much does not like that. And yeah, so it's just a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I think this story is great. The colors in this book make it so much better, though. I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, could probably be a 10 out of 10 if I didn't know that it was ending soon. That's the biggest complaint I have, is that I know it's coming to an end soon, and that makes it like to where I really want to get to a climax. And next up for DC, we have got The Flash issue number, what is this one, 30? Yep, 30. This is a lot of fun. This is a DCKO tie-in event, and this has been telling the story of Impulse going through time, trying to make changes to time, essentially, to try and fix things. And it's a lot of fun. DCKO is ending in the next issue, and it's been a lot of fun. This is the end of the Impulse Point story arc, and the, I think, end of the DCKO tie-in stuff, because DCKO number 5 comes out soon, and that'll be the end of DCKO, and then we go into our DC Next Level initiative. But I enjoyed this issue a lot. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Next up for DC is Superman issue number 35. This was a lot of fun. It's another DCKO tie-in comic, and this one heavily involves Time Trapper Doomsday, or Timekeeper Doomsday? Time Trapper Doomsday, I think. And it involves a lot of that, a lot of the Superman and now Superwoman. You've got these cyborg Superman things that were created, and it has a secret about Doomsday that it lets Doomsday know. And this ends with him, Doomsday, choosing to go and fight Darkseid himself, I guess. Which is quite... I kind of expected that was where it was going to go, but I still really enjoyed it. It also ends with Superboy Prime getting to meet the Kents for the first time, which is a very interesting interaction. Overall, though, I thought this story was a lot of fun. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 as well. Moving on to the final book of the week, we have got Justice League Unlimited, another DC KO tie-in. This is issue number 16 of this, and this is part 5 of 5. This is the finale of this story, and we end things off here. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It was just a lot of fun. You get you basically get the story of why Owlwoman decided to betray them, but then she turns her back on Nekron and helps them to escape, essentially, or just Mr. Terrific. And then he essentially ends the story by saying that all of the characters died a hero and not even telling them which of them ended up betraying the team in the end. Especially since they were just like time-stamp versions of them, basically. But overall, I thought this was good. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Enjoyed it quite a bit. So, that is the end of this week's weekly comic book review. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did at any point, please drop a like, comment, or subscribe. Any kind of feedback or commentary you can give this channel is always greatly appreciated. I have recently hit 43 subscribers. I am well on my way to my 100 subscriber goal by the end of the year, so thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart to anybody who has helped me get further towards that goal. It really means the world to me. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you check out the channel for more. I will see you guys in my next video. I am out of here.